everyone, and welcome to another episode of JKL Media, where I have delayed enough so that my co-hosts are probably a little mad at me, but we'll get going today. We're talking about The Expanse Season 3, Episode 5, and it's called Triple Point. So I want to introduce my lovely and talented co-hosts, Lou. Hi, Lou.
Hello, everyone, and Karen, we could never be mad at you.
Oh, okay, that's nice. I bet you could, but I'm not going to push it. And Jesse. Hi, Jesse.
Hello, Karen.
All right.
Triple
Go ahead.
Point. Is this because it's an episode about Scrabble?
Triple point tiles? Sure. It's always good when you get that and there's like a Z on it. That's the
Yes.
best, right?
Yes.
There's
Okay.
just a Scrabble joke in that movie I told you about, Jesse, Until Death Do Us Part.
Okay.
Just
Okay, cool.
what's your interest? Yeah, you should watch it, Karen. Samara Weaving, Jason Segel. It's really
Ooh,
funny.
what's
Yeah.
it called?
Till Death
Oh,
Do Us Part.
that's Yorma Tacone's movie, right?
I
Where
don't
they
know
both are going away to kill each other?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's Yorma. He's part of the Lonely Island, which is,
Okay.
Dick in a Box and all that from SNL.
Oh,
Mm,
okay.
okay.
It was very funny. Me and my wife, we had tears in our eyes. We were laughing so much.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's take this opportunity to push it because I'm a huge fan of Lonely Island and
Okay.
anything
Samara
that
Weaving is really good. She's good
Naked
in Ready or Not
Gun.
1 and 2, and yeah, she's good in those.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
I can't wait.
I will put that on my to playlist.
Some
Yeah, you should.
cross-pollination there, folks.
There you
Yeah.
go. And by the way, Quaid Army, just in case anyone knows what I'm talking about, if
Karen, you are
and
speaking a different language this
yep,
morning.
I am. If you listen to the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast, the people that are big fans of them were called the
Okay.
Quaid Army.
Okay. Good to
All
know.
right. And you're supposed to say righteous kill because that's how it goes. It's a call and response thing. Okay, cut all this out. This is stupid. Anyway, so we're
Well,
gonna talk
it's too
talk
righteous.
triple score. I'm gonna get your quick thoughts. Let's start with you, Jesse.
Yeah, this was another great one. I had rated last week episode, and so I feel like I should rate this one a 10 again, just because it builds on it so well. This was a really super good episode, and I was excited to talk about it.
Same, same. How about you, Lou? Quick thoughts.
Yeah, another great episode. And as we were mentioning before we started, I've forgotten how cruel the show can be sometimes with its cliffhangers, and this is one of those episodes.
Yeah, I just told the guys also that when Sean and I watched it, after it was over and the credits started rolling, he says, "Oh, I forgot it ended there." I really wanted to let it autoplay, but I resisted, and I am definitely going to watch the next part tonight before before my husband and I have our date night. Okay, we have a lot of stuff to discuss here. Can we start with oh boy. Shall we talk about the Hammurabi first? Is that
Sure.
a good place to start?
Sure.
Sure.
So we have Captain Carino, and I think there's a lot of her actions in this episode, I think, are based on an offhand comment that she has with her second. And it's about the fact that her sister was killed already
Yeah.
in this conflict.
Yes, I think so too. And IMDb said she's admiral.
Oh,
Now,
Admiral. Okay.
she says she's the captain, but I think in Navy terms, like when you're the head of the ship, you're called the captain regardless of your rank.
Okay,
Mm.
cool.
Because I was wondering when she said this is the captain, but everyone seemed to listen to her really well. So I thought she was more of an admiral, and I saw in the IMDb they list her as admiral. I once again, I'm sorry, I'm taking over. I love that
No,
character. I
same.
was like, this character, I want a series of just her.
Right?
She is just, this is so well done.
Yeah.
She has so much strength and she played this so well. And, the not the naive, oh, look, here's a film. Everything should be better. She immediately, this doesn't look true. Her second in command does exactly what they're supposed to do. Push her. I just recently, there was a post of would you hire or keep? And they listed four different scenarios. And one of the scenarios was a person disagrees with you in private all the time. They push you all the time. They never say anything bad about you in front of everyone else. But when you guys are behind yourselves, they are constantly pushing you, questioning your decisions. Do you keep or fire? And I said promote, because
Yeah,
that's the person you want on your side.
sure. Definitely.
And
You
that's
want a
what,
little
yeah,
friction, right?
yeah,
Because it makes you question what you do.
yeah,
And on the off chance it's the wrong thing, you have
yeah,
an angel on your shoulder. If it's the
yeah.
thing you're doing, you have
Yeah.
that devil, but you don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that character. I love the scenes, her interaction with the ensign. All right, that's enough, sailor, and just that having back. I there his discussion with Christian. She was really rude to me.
mm,
I ended up
but I
liking
liked
her.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, I just awesome because character is what I love story, but character moments are what makes me most happy. And those were some really sweet character moments.
Yeah, I agree. So with that information, it actually gives more weight to her performance because not only is she in command of that ship, I believe that means she's in command of that whole fleet that
Yeah.
are there, right? In the area of operations. And I think it's really important that we see how she acts in this episode. And I'm hoping that telegraphs something that happens there in that fight, that the fight that's happening there is, I don't know, is a turning point, maybe. So, do you have anything else to add, Jesse, or should I go to Lou?
And I love her scene of do not fire. Because if we fire at them, then they'll quit turning on each other and they'll attack on us, right? Just day.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a really interesting storyline because Christian said, if I could just get this to the right people, I might be able to stop a war. And also I also think that I was going, how does this young sailor know who everyone is? There's pictures of the three,
Yep.
there's Christian on that kind of shows, oh, okay, yeah, this is propaganda. Everyone knows who they are. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
really
they
like,
know the Secretary General, they
yeah,
know Avasarala, and they
yeah,
know Aaron Wright, right? They've all got, I love that mustaches and devil horns and stuff. It's cute.
yes, that was very funny.
I think it's a big power move at the end when she puts out there, hey, if you want sanctuary, we're here for you.
Oh,
That's huge, right?
we will provide aid, we'll go, anyone, we will do this. And her statement about luck and war. Right? And I
Yeah.
do think I can't remember the statement, but warriors hate war the most or something.
Yeah.
And you're right. It was just that little, your sister fought well.
Yep.
And yeah, it's
And that
still,
informs the whole episode, right?
yeah,
Her
yes,
whole part in the episode. Okay, let's
absolutely.
go to you, Lou. Sorry we've taken over there, but
No, I'm just glad you're all so excited about it. And I agree with you. I think that the actress Krista Bridges, who plays Captain Carino, she has a very difficult job of bringing in this very big story point into the series in this conflict between Earth and Mars. And she's a brand new character, so we have no real knowledge of her until this point. And the offhand remark about her sister being killed in that earlier battle is a good hook for us to empathize with the character, and then it sets up her frame of mind as to why she's willing to take a gamble on the ensign's story in so far as that she sends the message on to Souther. And that is what sets up the conflict that happens in the rest of the episode as well. And it's just even within the context of the Expanse universe, you're just taking it in stride, the fact that the leader of the Earth and a Martian soldier and a renegade captain are all together on one ship, and they're trying their best to carry out their various priorities. And you have this ensign from the Martian fleet trying to relay this story to a commander, and it's a pretty hard thing to swallow. But it comes off really well. And then later on, because we skipped over the events between when she sends that message to that battle at the end. But just sitting there and watching a fleet shooting on itself is just not something you see. So again, the special effects shots of those rail guns and things like that, it just really punctuates the violence that's going on. And I think the show does such a great job of their special effects with those battle scenes. So yeah, just a really my hat's off to all the actors on the Martian ship, the Hammurabi, because they had to convey a lot of information, and they were all new characters to us, except for the ensign. So as my hat goes off to the actors and the writing and the directions in those sequences. I thought it was all really well done.
Yeah, and I loved Sinopoli in this when he has that chat with Carino. And when, like Jesse mentioned, when she asks, what is Avasarala like? And he's frank with her to the point of humor, right? She was mean to me, like a little kid almost. She was mean to me. Okay, but I liked her.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
So
I
it's
kind of
almost
liked
like
her.
it's almost
Happens a little bit.
yeah, it's almost like he has a crush on her or something, like a
Yeah,
little boy who has a crush on her.
yeah.
And I do think he admires what she's doing, knowing the danger she's put herself in. And it's like you said, to have the enemy see their opposition firing on each other, it has to be just an absurd thing to watch. We're at Mars, we're the better power here. We could take them all out, but they're going to kill each other. Why should I even step my foot into this? Why should I interfere in whatever's going on over there? So she's and I'm going to put this in air quotes, bigger man, and decides to stay out of it and also offer sanctuary to defectors, essentially. And it's very powerful. And like you said, Lou, everybody but Sinopoli, they're all new to us in this one episode. And to have such a strong affinity for those characters just in the bits and pieces that we got is it's such good storytelling. So yeah, I guess that's why I wanted to start there. And that's not the only great story in this episode. A story that kind of made me upset. Let's go to the Agatha King, where we have, oh man, I hate what happens here. Souther, he is passed on the message from Sinopoli by Carino, and he does the smartest thing. He goes to Apollo, whatever his name is.
Apollo,
The guy, no, I'm just
Lieutenant
Kathiar?
Schaefer.
Kotiar.
Yeah.
Oh,
He goes to
yes.
Kotiar after he gets the message and he asks him a question that he wouldn't know unless he was there. And that verifies that the message is real. So that is, I think that's a strategic and fantastic play that he does. It is in vain, however, because Nguyen, they call him Yun, but that spelling is Nguyen, as far as I know. He's a snaky snake. He's definitely in bed with Aaron, right? And I kind of wonder how in the know he is, but I think it seems like he understands what they're doing there, that he is in on the whole thing because he knows that it's the protomolecule, right? He knows what's happening there on Io. And he is Aaron Wright's mouthpiece here. And he finds out that Souther tries to take the ship back, and he ends up killing Souther, which upsets me because he's a great character. But I do think that it's in the service of showing how evil these people are. And that's passed on to the other storyline on Io, by the way, but that it's so easy to see power that you can take and turn into something that is just malevolent. They're malevolent. They're just evil for the sake of being evil. And there's also the scene where he takes out the other ship. I can't remember what it's called. He fires on the ship that is pulling away, the Earth ship, the UN ship that's pulling away, and ends up killing hundreds of people, maybe more. I don't
Yeah.
know. So I
Easily 100 sailors. Easily a hundred.
easily,
Yeah. And
yeah,
you could probably say 1,000. I don't know how many are in it, but yeah, it's a
yeah,
lot of people.
and right in front of everyone there.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that. I also want to talk about Boyer, who is his second in command. I hate him so much. I'm glad he's dead, by the way. And he goes down by a neck snapping, which I loved. I don't know why, I just did. So let's talk about all that. I don't know where to start about it. Do you have a starting point, Jesse, that you want to?
So I'm going to echo with you. I was very sad that Admiral Souther died. I was glad to see him back, and unfortunately, spoilers. I went to IMDb and saw that he was only on a few episodes, and I went, damn,
Oh,
damn. I did not know why he was out of the show, but I just knew he was out of the show. And so then when I see him shot, it goes, oh, okay, that's why. Damn it. Yeah, sometimes IMDb is spoiler free, sometimes it's not. I love that actor. I love that character. And I think this is always an interesting storyline. I don't know if either one of you watched the series The Last Resort.
Sounds
It's an
familiar.
yeah, it was on, it only lasted one season. Ryan and Eric Kripke did it together. A nuclear submarine gets an illegal order and decides not to follow it, and a lot of stuff happens afterwards. It's a very good series, and they wrap it up in the first because they didn't get another season. They end up
Hmm.
wrapping it up. It's a series definitely worth watching. But the idea of loyalty to your commander or loyalty to the country, or in this case, the world. The Weasley second in command of the evil imp admiral, right, is
Hmm.
yeah,
loyal to this man.
yep.
He believes he is a hero. He believes he is someone that is making the right decisions, and these people are rebels. And the rebels, or the heroes in our mind, believe in Admiral Souther, and they are loyal to him, and they are loyal to the planet. And both people could be right. In our case, we know that Admiral Souther's side is the right side. But if you were telling a different story, they would be the good guys, that the other
Hmm.
side, because they are, here's these rebels, they're doing this. Love the storyline, love the thing. And yes, I thought it was great when he goes to Katiyar and asks the right questions that verified independently the recording.
Right.
And then said, okay, now, because he wasn't going to, he did not take mutiny lightly.
Sure. And that
I,
shows his integrity too, right?
yes, I was a little, I was angry and I realized why. Okay, when you're going to arrest him, why didn't someone take his sidearm immediately?
Mm.
Right? Come on, guys.
It's cool that they didn't,
Yeah. Oh,
but
yeah. It makes great for a storyline. And obviously, there's a lot going on. And this, I so wanted to push play on the next episode.
yeah,
Okay, man, what? Because we're in the middle of all this. So, yeah, how many, like, so many of Admiral Souther's aides are now dead. So, who can and how many of the you now have got a civil war in the Earth fleet, and who's going to be following what? A lot of storylines there, and that makes even more complicated because the Rossi is there on IO. We have the storyline we haven't got to in IO, that a lot of crap happened on this episode. Let's
a
just say
lot,
that, right?
a lot. And I also want to mention right at the end of the discussion that Souther has with Cotillard, Cotillard says, "Oh, she made it."
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's also significant.
I love that story because he talks about he didn't he originally was loyal this to because of her son.
Right.
But I think Cotillard, Bobby, and Christian have started to bond.
Yeah.
And when we get to the Rossi, Bobby is starting to bond with these guys too,
Yeah.
which is
A
great.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that it shows his loyalty and
Yeah.
that he didn't fail. He didn't
Yes.
want to be the guy who failed her.
Yes.
And I thought that was cool. Okay,
I
let's go to
agree.
you, Lou.
Yeah, rewatching this, I'm still amazed at the sense of dread that I feel. I'm keep obviously very worried about what's going to happen to May.
Yes.
It's
Ooh.
very ominous the way the episode ends, and I'm worried about what's going to happen to Kotiar because
Yes.
now that buffer of Souther is gone, is what's going to happen to him? And for the actor, he must have enjoyed the role because he's just sitting in a chair the whole time.
Yes. And he gets to play a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like the whole mutiny thing. One thing I can never get, and I assume that maybe the guns are designed not to be as high impact as a regular bullet, but the firing of these weapons in a spaceship, like when it just could puncture a bulkhead or something like that, and it
Yeah.
starts spacing them all, always makes me a little nervous. But
Anxious, yeah.
the what this episode does is it raises the stakes because characters that, and obviously these aren't the main characters, but still these are characters that you've known for an episode or two and they're just gone. And some of them, like Souther, have been around longer, time-wise, not appearance-wise. He's still only had a couple of appearances. So I'm just like the stakes are pretty high. The other thing that I was never clear on, and I don't think that this episode helps, is how Yen is so bought into this whole proto-molecule thing, because there was never really much of a relationship shown between him and Aaron Wright back on Earth, and so I think they're just letting the writers of the show or just say you have to fill in the gaps here that these two guys are into cahoots, because they
Yeah.
obviously are. Because like you said, Karen, he's tells Mao that all your family's assets have been unfrozen and that, and then Mao releases control of the hybrids to projectiles or missiles, whatever you want to call them, to Mao and or to Young. Sorry. So there's again there's a lot of stuff going on in here, and this is one of those episodes that you could easily rewatch a couple of times to catch everything, and it just makes for really high stakes storytelling. You can't, this is not in the background TV watching. You have to be fully
No,
invested into what's going on. And
I agree.
across the board, everybody is playing their roles to the T, and there's just so much going on. There's so many chess pieces being moved at the same time, and there's players that aren't even on the board this episode that you still have in the back of your mind, and like offhand remarks about what's going back on Earth and what's going back on Venus. Like you're just going, wow, this is a big story.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
all that stuff that goes on there on the Agatha King, it's so much.
And I get the feeling that has helped this admiral through his career. He's been
Mm,
his mentor. And so I don't know if he knows and I think Enright has sold him a bill of goods that this is what's good for Earth.
yeah.
Or maybe this guy is just taking bribes. We don't know. But
I think
regardless,
this guy's on board though.
yeah,
I think Neon's on
He
board.
has to be because he knows about the proto-molecules.
But I
exactly, because
mean,
he's coming to
he's
pick it
not
up.
just
Yeah,
Yeah.
taking a bribe for it. I think he's bought in.
yeah,
And it's heavily implied that he and Aaron Wright are
yeah,
working together more than just, hey, go do this,
yeah,
because he is informed as to what's going on.
yeah,
And the fact that Mal releases launch capability to him is staggering to me.
yeah,
What does that mean for us? Does that mean that he actually has some integrity because he follows through with what he promised Aaron Wright? You
yeah,
know, it's hard for me to reconcile that with who he's
yeah,
becoming on the show.
yeah,
And so now, and I'll finish up the Agatha King here, and we can always bring up other points if we want to, but
yeah,
now Noon has fired all the samples of the protomolecules, and I'm assuming they're going to Earth. At first, I thought they were missiles, but then I realized, looking back at it, they're pods.
yeah,
And I don't know what the crew of the Rossi knows about what's happening there, but that's one of the things that leaves open is what are they going to do about this? Where are they going? It's crazy, all the stuff that they've put in my head that I really want to see. So yeah, I there's all that, and I don't know. It's hard for me to articulate because I desperately want to see what's happening next, and not knowing is making me a little crazy. So,
Yeah.
final thoughts on the Agatha King there, Jesse?
No, just it really was well done. I love this where we're at.
But you hated where we're at, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sitting there going, okay, where we go? And I'm also like, this is the middle of the season.
Mm.
This feels it should be like the next to last episode because we're gonna end with a big bang this season. So yeah, I'm really curious where we're going next.
So can you imagine what the ending of this season's gonna be like?
No, I can't.
Me either.
And you'll
Dude,
never guess.
Lou, this choice, you had to know this was right up our alley, right? I mean,
Yeah,
this is so crazy
Well,
good.
I'm just very happy that you're enjoying as much as you are.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anything else on the Agatha King there, Lou? Did we miss anything?
No, I think that's pretty well it.
Okay, cool. Let's see. Let's go to Io, where Mao and Strickland are being the baddies. And man, we only had that one episode where we thought maybe Mao was going to redeem himself.
Yep.
And he goes another step in this episode towards just being the worst. He and Strickland are quote unquote questioning Kato. I see you shaking your head. You're right with me, Jesse. Mao and Strickland are questioning whatever Katoa has become, another of the protomolecule beings, hybrids. And this time we do get a lot from Katoa. And Strickland does mention he took to it better than anyone else. So we know now that whatever genetic anomaly these kids have and how it relates to whatever's going on Ganymede, that is a fertile breeding ground to make these intelligent hybrids. And it's startling because this is the first time we've seen one of them actually communicate in a real way to us. And again, I'm doing the air quotes to us through Mao and Strickland. And he's in that avatar bed thing. Anytime I see one
Yeah.
of those, I think of Avatar. He's in the chamber, the little chamber, and he's talking to them, and he's doing that thing where it's like he is barely remembering how to be human, which again, I think is such a great way to communicate what's happening with these hybrids, and that it's whatever is going on in the bodies of these kids is keeping them human long enough so that we get information, we can communicate. And I'm assuming what they want is to make them a true hybrid so that they can be commanded like an army and they understand us and all that. I'm just assuming that because that would be the way that they could become a weapon. Otherwise, they're out of control and there's no commanding them and there's no use in setting them loose anywhere because you're what use are they to you if you can't use them how you want to? Now, I do really think it's a great plot point to bring in the fact that he's communicating with all the other protomolecules, hybrids, or whatever is happening on Venus. And so he knows what's going on there. That I'm assuming what's going on is that they are learning what is going on with each part of something. Like when he disassembled his nurse and whatever's going on Venus, where they disassembled the Arbogast, and him talking about almost in a reverent, religious way about whatever their project is. That's great. But man, Strickland and Mal, how could I hate anyone the same way I hate Aaron, right? And the answer is Strickland and Mal.
Involves children.
Um,
Yeah.
and as a little cherry on top, he has now been swayed to sacrifice this girl that was actually giving him a conscience. And so that turns him into, again, an evil entity. And if it's okay with you, Lou, I want to go to Jesse first.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem.
Go, Jesse.
Yeah, you're watching this and you could just see, and I'm gonna compliment the acting. The actors are playing these despicable people wonderful. So when I say I hate them, I'm hating the character. I think
Right.
they are, and that tells you how good of a job this is. You see the greed and the thirst for power play out. I've got to know what is the mission, right? What we have to do this. The protomonocle is striving for something. The work has to continue. And Mao has to know what that is. And so therefore I've it's almost like I've burned up a map. Let me give me another map. And when they say it's May, there's hardly a second of, yeah, get it ready.
Hmm.
Whatever we've got to pay, whatever we've got to do, I've got to know this. And I was just like, man, because of course I'm a sucker for a redemption story, and there is no redemption story to be had.
No.
And this is truly the children are lab rats. They are just that we're just using them to get ahead, and we don't care. And it's so chilling, and you're sitting there going, okay, the cavalry's going to be there, the Rosasanti, they're on the way, and then they release all the proto-molecules and everything, and you're just like, oh, hell's going to handbasket, and I just don't know where we're going to go. But yes, I was not shocked. This isn't the kind of sometimes you watch a show and then, as Alan Tudyk said, you're obvious betrayal and firefight. Oh,
For sure, sudden
yeah,
and inevitable betrayal. Yeah.
yeah. This
With the
was,
dinosaurs, fantastic.
yeah, this was though I felt that it just you he's a scorpion, right? The old
Hmm.
wise about it's that's what scorpions do. And it's it just was so well done. I can't say it's heartbroken because I knew you can't trust this guy, but it still was just damn it. And I really am worried as when we get to the Rossadonti, I am worried we are not going to get a happy ending with this young child. That is the way the writers do this show is it's very easy. It is not an easy, you can't go, okay, I know this is network television. There's no way they're going to kill this child. And this is, I honestly am worried they may kill this child.
Sure. They've already done that with Katoa, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And that actor that played the hybrid version of Katoa, I think, did a fantastic job as
I
well.
agree.
And the special effects
Absolutely.
were
Yeah,
Oh, they
cool.
were
really beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I have loved so far their special effects when it comes to this hybrid protomolecule that
yeah,
it,
I agree.
not just with the creatures themselves, but the projection of how they see things was
Yeah.
Hmm.
really good in this episode as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Lou.
Yeah. What can you say? These people are monsters. It makes you maybe understand why terrible things happen in real life. When
Yes.
Mhm.
people get into positions of power and they, to be blunt, they get their heads up their asses so far that
Yes.
they can't, whatever moral compass they had is lost. And we saw that with Mal. For a second there, May was acting as a surrogate for Julie, but once
Yeah.
he saw the opportunity to get out of the situation that he's in, that all that went to the side. And so his ambitions overtook him again. It's how they say it in Lord of the Rings, where the men are given the rings, where above all men desire power, and
Mm.
Yeah.
that's it's the same thing here. And it's just it used to be like a big message in the 50s B movies, science fiction B movies, that you're messing with things that you don't understand, and
Yeah.
this kind of has that Dr. Frankenstein vibe to it too as well. You're messing with
Yeah.
forces that you really shouldn't be messing with. What's really fascinating, or the hook to me, and I think Karen, you mentioned, is the fact that the boy is in communication with the proto-molecule mind,
Hive.
hive mind,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. So that, and it keeps on saying that it's almost finished the work, and you're going like, the what? The work?
Yeah.
What's
Work,
that?
work, work. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where the work is. And
Yes.
we're trying, this is a big story, but it's in the background of, because we're into the trenches here right now with this whole thing
Yes.
with May and that. So the show is working on so many levels, and then they'll
And, they're
eventually
all
they'll cross. They're
interconnected.
all interconnected, and
Yeah.
eventually they'll all converge. So that, and when that happens, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's yeah, so the actors are doing a great job here, and it's just, yeah, it's still really hard to comprehend how people can be so blinded by their own ambitions that they lose their humanity. And
Yeah.
I think it's just really, really well done. They're really doing a good job of making these characters feel like real people instead of just evil scientists. And
Yes.
except for Strickland, I guess but he hasn't really been given much background on that. So
He's a one note. Yeah.
he's a one note, but Mao has a bit more depth to him, and he's the one that's really calling the shots. And so that's I think they've done a pretty good job with that. And yeah, like the casting, May is a very engaging character. Like when you see her, like she's like the typical young, eager little girl, right? And it just breaks your heart to see what she's going through right now, and potentially in the next little while as well. So yeah, just a very scary place, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if we can use this, but it seems very Jurassic Park to me.
Yep, yep,
Life
Yeah.
will win kind of thing.
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
And experimenting with things that you shouldn't be experimenting with.
yep.
There's a reason we don't coexist with dinosaurs in that regard. And also it almost makes the protomolecule look like a good thing compared to these monsters.
And isn't it an interesting parallel that we're all in the today's world racing to build all these AI data centers, but
Yeah,
we're basically creating the thing that could potentially destroy us. That's a very,
Yes.
it's a very weird
it is very
situation.
weird.
Yes. It
Again,
is.
Jurassic Park. Let's not
Yeah.
repeat these things,
Yeah.
but and it's almost Mengele-ish too. His whole
Yep,
thing was experimentation and
it's very much Nazi
yeah,
mad
Nazi
scientists.
coded.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, let's finish up with Rocinante. I know we're going long, but geez, there's a lot to
Yeah.
discuss
This
in
is
this
a very
episode.
thick. Yeah.
I've been
Yep.
trying to push us along and
No,
it's
that's
hard.
Yeah.
fans will understand.
Okay,
Yes, they
how
will.
many different storylines are here? First, let's talk about Alex. He is the good between the other crew members of the Rocinante and Bobby. I enjoy their discussions together. He can identify with her more than anyone else. And also he gets the message from Melis, his son on Mars. And I think after the last message he got from his ex-wife, this gave him a little bit of hope and motivation where he was in a really bad place, I think, before. So there's that. We also have Naomi and Holden having their discussion
Big reveal,
and
big reveal.
big reveal. And it does again, it informs her actions where she takes things to heart because of what happened to her, where she had this child with a member of the OPA and they clashed, and so he took their child away. And we don't know how they clashed. Was she the
Yeah.
one that was more militant? Was he the one that was? So I'm hoping we get to learn more about that. Maybe more about what happened to them. Who knows? That's not the important part to that story. The important part is that we see more of her motivation. I do that Holden is sticking to his guns and he's saying, look, I don't like what you did. I understand it. I just don't know where that puts us. He's very practical about it, where normally he'd be the romantic here,
Yeah.
and go to comfort her, but he just says, look, I understand. That's great, whatever.
Yeah.
He does feel for her, but he's not gonna really, there's still a resentment there. And we also have Prax and Amos. I would watch a road movie with these two. Definitely. I love their bromance going on. And I think Amos now is seeing what Prax is turning into, and he's very worried. Very worried. He says, Doc, I have your back. And Prax is like, yep, yep, I'm going to do it. If I got to
Mhm.
kill her, I'll kill her. He sees what this protomolecule is, where before he didn't understand. He had hope that maybe they could fix it. And now he sees there's no fixing this. Once you get turned, you're turned. We got to get rid of you. He's all for nuking them if they have to. And this is a huge shift for him where his whole career is based on fostering life. And now he is much more jaded and looking at things as we have to get rid of them. We have to exterminate, right? Because he doesn't know what's happened to his daughter, but he knows that those experiments are going on, and it's almost like revenge for whatever's going on there, even though he doesn't know. I think he's getting less and less hope as we go along. I loved Amos's reactions to him. I thought they were great. And then we have Bobby and Avasarala. We have Christian who talks to Holden. And again, another big reveal that she gives to Holden is that Earth doesn't have the protomolecule. She wants a sample
Yeah.
of it, and she's trying to convince Holden. And Holden, we don't see what his thoughts are on this, except he does communicate that to Naomi. So now we have more of the Rossi in the know as to what her motivations are. And could Bobby be a bigger badass where they're all strapping in and she's just standing there in the doorway, like, whatever, go. I don't need to get strapped in. Safety belt, who cares? I love that scene where she and Alex are talking and she is single-mindedly looking to arm herself. And he's, hey, let's talk about stuff. He's very casual until he realizes she's going into this thinking she will have to do some fighting. And he says, if we come across him, we'll run. And she says, oh, I know. I know what the mission is.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. So, anything you want to talk about here? What part of this were you most intrigued by, Jesse? And what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, a lot of everything on this. That one, I agree with you. I like how Amos and Docs have bonded. Amos has taken him to raise, as they say in the South, right?
Yep.
And they have bonded really, I almost, you could say, unrealistically this quick, but it's TV, so let's kind of hand wave that. I love the amount of protectiveness and also a little worried. Like, I think Amos wanted him perhaps to be a little more optimistic, but also he realizes, yes, we do have to keep it in mind if we can't. And he says, if we find your daughter, I've got your back either way. And he's, yes, I understand what may have to happen, and I'm ready for that as well.
And
And
that
that's,
determination, too.
yeah, that's a little sad, but
Mhm.
it's also the right thing to do.
Sure.
You need to have the right mind. I love that Christian has put a lot of faith in a very short conversation with James's mother. But I think also she's done a lot of research and looked, and she thinks she knows him better than he knows himself.
Yeah.
And she may be right. She may be wrong. I don't know. But right now, I think she's pretty close that push comes to shove, he's going to do the right thing.
She's definitely rolling the dice here.
Yeah. But I do think there is, what is it? You can always count on Americans to do the right thing after they tried everything else.
Right.
I think was a Winston Churchill quote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think him and James and Naomi are slowly finding their way back. I don't want to get too hopeful because I think there's a lot of stuff going on, but at least I feel a little bit like there is a chance. At least they're
Mr.
talking.
Romantic.
Yeah, she's trying to push that. And I thought it was really lovely. Alex's son reached out to him and said, "Hey, I know mom didn't want us talking, but I don't hate you. And I know what you did was you did it to make us safe, and I forgive you." That
And that
has to,
he wants to fight.
yeah.
That
And
was important too, I think.
yeah, I think that's a kind of lovely thing because as I said last time, I understood Alex's wife's thought. So I was like, no, she's right to do this. So I think it is really bit a lovely. I think the son is a little bit of romanticizing his dad,
Sure.
but I still think that was a lovely thing for him. Yeah, Bobby is, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm just trying to, okay, where's my bullets? What can I do? She is locked and loaded, fully charged, and she is ready to kick ass and take names. And God help anyone gets between her. She is ready.
And we have
Uh,
to believe that there's a reason we know that she's
yeah,
armed to the teeth, right?
yeah. So, I just really love it. And so I am hoping that they're the cavalry and they're going to save May. I'm not confident it's going to happen. I don't know how long the proto-magical storyline is going to continue on
Proto
the whole
magical that
series. Yeah, but the I would love to see, and I have not looked up how long Mal is on the series, but I would love to see him killed next episode.
or
But yeah, Strickland probably more. Yeah, I think yeah, Strickland. If I had to choose, I don't know, it'd be close.
how
Yeah,
about both of
so
them?
yeah, I love this, and I know Christian's got to get back to Earth, but I have loved her time on the Rosasanti. I hope Bobby. I just hate that this team is being broke up. I just want Kotiar to join them, and then let's go have adventures.
Yeah. Let's move on to you, Lou.
Oh boy.
I know there's so much here.
Yeah, there's so much here, and you guys have covered off a lot of it. I just want to point out or emphasize that the Naomi reveal about having a child is big and
Okay.
will play a big part going forward. Keep that in mind. I love the fact that when Christians at one point in this, I think when they're planning the assault or getting ready for the assault, she's looking at a monitor that's showing a display of the Arbogast. So that,
Yeah.
keeping that in mind. And yeah, the relationship between Amos and Prax is it's almost kind of touching.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I
Because
agree.
it's not just almost touching. I think it's very touching.
because Amos is projecting himself, I think, on
Yep.
Prax, because Prax represents a life that he can't or has not been able to live. And he doesn't want to
Yeah.
see that Prax is like a plant. He doesn't want to see that plant crushed. But you could say Prax is very much locked down because if he's not, his emotions would probably destroy him right now. So
Yeah.
he's learning how to shoot the gun. And I think that all their scenes are very much foreshadowing of what's to come. So I don't want to say much more about that.
That's scary.
What else is there? Holden finds out that Naomi was right about Christian, that she's after the proto-molecule.
Yeah.
Christian doesn't apologize for her motivations at all. In fact, she's prodding Holden to grow up She tells a story about that. I can't remember what it was, some sort of knickknack that her father had
Yeah,
Atlas,
given
the
her.
statue of Atlas.
yeah,
And then he says, he said, let me guess, it's on your desk. She says, no, I broke it when my son was killed. I thought
Yeah.
that was like,
It's a little sobering,
yeah.
right?
And that's
yeah,
like, she was saying to him, I didn't like what happened, but I had to face it instead of hiding behind memories or whatever. So
yeah,
she's really pushing Holden to do something, and Holden's pretty well holding the line, but you can see that Christian is very good at manipulating people. I think Holden knows that too, but still, she's so good at it that you just can't, she's pushing the buttons that you just can't help to react to subconsciously or emotionally. So, very interesting scenes. And again, the scene between Holden and Naomi was very poignant because there's this, but you can almost feel them wanting to rush into each other's arms and hug each other, right? But they just, like, she would have, and maybe I'm the romantic too, Jesse, but I think she would have totally gone into his arms if he had held them open to
yeah,
her. But he's still
He's got a
processing.
wall.
Yeah, he's still processing what she did with the proto molecule. And as they're gathering or trying to get into the base, all those hybrid projectiles are launched into space. So you just can't keep the genie in the bottle, right? So now all
yeah,
those proto molecules are out in the wind forever, whoever finds them. Bobby and Alex sort of bonding, but not really because he's got a romantic view of the his service, whereas Bobby's much more in the moment. I liked it when she found those caseless incendiary tipped bullets. She was very
yeah.
happy about that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
these'll work.
these will
Ooh,
work. Yeah.
toys.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, there's just a lot of really good character stuff going on, all the Ross and Nante scenes, and this is probably one of the cruelest cliffhangers that the show's done to date, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember other ones, so that I don't want to make that a definitive at this point, but
It's a
Yeah,
cruel one.
so
Let's just say
far
that.
it's at the top of the list, I would think, right now.
Yeah. So far, yeah, this is the worst I've felt about not continuing. I also think it's significant that Christian mentions, and I thought of you, Jesse, when she says it was always Earth first, and now my view has changed. And I thought of all the times that you've said you didn't like her motivation, and now seeing that her motivation has changed, even though there's still that part of her that's we need the protomolecule. Mars
yeah,
has it, Fred Johnson has it. There's still that part of her that's got to protect Earth at all costs. But
yeah.
she's more of a realist now where she says this isn't right though. So
Hmm.
whatever we need to do, we need to stop this from happening. But it
Yeah,
wouldn't be bad if we armed ourselves
yeah,
with the protomolecule. I do think that's a significant thing for her to admit that to Holden and then go on to manipulate him in the same breath almost. She's really good at storytelling to get her point across. She's done that several times now.
yes.
And I think that is such an effective way to relate to someone, to sway them. And she's so good at it. And man, I love her. I don't know what it is about her, but I just love how strong she is. And unlike you guys, and this is really such a reverse of how we are in real life,
Mm.
I don't think I'm not rooting for Holden and Naomi to get together. I think it might be inevitable because they do love each other, but she really betrayed him. And this is not just having an affair or fling with someone. This is giving a weapon when you specifically said you were following my order. You went behind my back and you gave this horrible weapon to someone that I don't trust. And there's part of me that says keep the wall up, at least for a little bit longer. You have to. You just have to, because otherwise, it wouldn't be as realistic. I think in real life, they would never get back together, right? In
Hmm.
real life, he would be done. You don't get back with an abusive ex. And she's been gaslighting a little bit, but now she shows this vulnerability. Is it enough? We don't know. I know his attitude is softening. He does really tell her, I hate what you did, but I get it. There's that.
Yeah,
And also knowing that she had a child that was taken from her, that tells us a lot and it tells him a lot. So many things happening in this episode in 45 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. It's crazy. It's really crazy. How do they do this? And a lot of it is inference, but in a very believable way. So
yeah.
I'm blown away by this episode in particular.
Cool.
Anything else from you guys? Or are we all good? Or
Mm,
have I covered everything?
yeah, just that
Yeah.
last shot of May being strapped into the bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate it so
Heartbreaking.
much.
Yeah, very much heartbreaking.
I am now we do have our heroes
Yes,
that
they're
are
there.
just outside the door. And again, that has me on tenterhooks. I really want to see what happens next. So yeah, everything's left in the air. Where are the pods going? How many of them are going to go to Earth? How many of them could be intercepted? What's happening with May? What's going to happen with the Rocinante crew? What's going to happen in that battle? What ships are going to get taken down? We do know that the Mars ship has better capabilities than the UN fleet. So are they gonna, now that there's a battle going on, are they gonna step in? Who
And
knows?
let's not forget, Reverend Anna has data too. So we've
Right, we
got the
haven't even
chance.
seen that in this episode.
Yeah, so what's she going to be able to do with this? Because Enright, is not going to go down easy. So we've
No,
got to,
no,
yeah,
and we have now this other cliffhanger. I forgot to mention that Carino has asked for a channel to be open to the UN.
yeah,
So now we have that where they're going to get this solid evidence, and
yeah,
who else besides Anna is going to have it? So
yeah,
it's going to be there's so many moving parts. I want to know where the chessboard's going to end up, who's going to have checkmate,
yeah,
and it who knows? There's a million chessboards.
yeah,
And I really want to see them. I'm sad about Souther, crazy upset about May. I am also sad about Prax because this is changing his character irrevocably.
yeah.
So with all that, I'm gonna get your ratings. I want to hear Lou's ratings first.
Wow. Yeah, the temptation is to give this a 10. And if I hadn't watched the series, I probably would. But I know there's better episodes, believe it or not, to
Wow,
Oh
come.
my
So
God.
wow,
I'm,
wow,
I mean, they could still all be 10s, right?
wow.
yeah,
Okay,
but then we'd have to do a Spinal Tap 11. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm gonna give it 9.5. Oof. Porta molecule projectiles.
okay.
Okay. Okay, Jesse, how about you?
I have not seen the rest of the series, so I gave last week a 10, so I'm going to go a 10 again. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 unstable interactions.
All
Ooh,
right.
nice.
Yeah. I am going to give it 9.5. And the reason it's 9.5 is because we lost the good guys on the UN ship.
Yes.
I was very sad about that on the Agatha King. 9.5. Squeeze the trigger, not pull.
Yeah.
All right.
But that.
Very cool.
And with that, I'm going to say you can email us at jklmediareviews@gmail.com. And where can they find you, Lou?
They can find me at this YouTube channel, JKL Media Reviews, where of course we're doing the Expanse right now, and we're waiting for Severance and Pluribus to come back. We also have all our archived episodes, with the exception of Babylon 5, which is on my personal channel, Lou's Reviews, where we have all the entire series review plus the animated movie, and it's an interesting comparison series, I think, in some ways to The Expanse. Different time periods, so you have to take that into account. As well as that, I have my writers and Stephen King podcast episodes up there, and on X and Twitter, or Blue Sky, you can find me at Lou W. Sitzma, Sytsma.
Also, we're relying more on humans being the good guy and the bad guy, whereas on Babylon 5 we had all kinds of different species and everything. So
Yes.
it's an interesting contrast. Okay, Jesse, where can people find you?
Hello, I am at Jesse Jackson DFW on Twitter. Jesse Jackson on Facebook. You can hear me talking Doctor Who on Next Stop Everywhere. We're about to do three episodes discussing a thought to be lost episode of the first Doctor about the Daleks. And so that's going to be an interesting deep dive into the first Doctor. I'm finishing up Pride Month on Set Lusting Bruce, where I've done a series of episodes where I've had people discussing the power of music and their sexual journey. Been some really great stories. I'm really proud of this series. And we are counting down to episode 1500 of Set Lusting Bruce.
Wow.
So I am trying to work on some special guests. Don't know if anything will work, but I am doing my best. And I think that's enough for me.
Let's get Bruce on there.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so you can find me on social media at Aleveria, Aleveria. And my blog is alliestuff.com. And the landing page there has a lot of different links. You can find some things there. And so with that, I'm going to end this epic episode of JKL Media Reviews where, wow, how much, all I could say is wow, how much
Yeah,
more could we have talked about?
yeah.
So I'm going to say goodbye to everyone and come back next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Whew. And scene.
Yay.
The proceeding has been a JKL Media production.